Dear learners, welcome to NIOS, the video series. The subject is Home Science, lesson number 21, Issues and Concerns of Human Development. So many problems that are there in India. So we are discussing that. We have completed part 1 of this lesson. This is part 2. Let's begin. Let's begin with a story. We have already discussed a story of Seema. Let's discuss a story of Radha. This is how I'm going to sign Radha. Radha is a 10-year-old girl. She's the firstborn of the family. She has 4 siblings. Being the oldest, she has to take care of the family. Her family works at a construction site and they are extremely poor. They have a very small house and they are suffering a lot. So Radha takes care of her family every day, whereas her father is an alcoholic. He would drink every day and have fights with his wife. Radha has not been able to go to school and she has to quit her school because he is not able to pay the fees. The father is not able to afford for her. Let's begin. So what do we learn from this story? Children like Radha are not happy children. They are socio-economic disadvantaged children. They are not provided adequate amount of food, etc. They are disadvantaged from the society and they are in extreme poverty. People like Radha are in extreme poverty. There are so many people in the world who are having this kind of an issue. What is the role of education here? Education awareness among girls is very, very important. They know, so that they know what's happening around them. They know what's good or bad. They're able to engage in different activities and become independent. They're able to get a good job, they're able to study, and they are able to become financially independent. And once they're financially independent, they can also get confidence. So it's important that education is provided. Creativity activities are provided. So education is something that is very, very important at this point, be it for poor or for anybody. How can we help the socially and economically disadvantaged people? We see so many people in the road who don't have, clean clothes, etc., or who can't afford a good bag, stationery, food, etc. Provide education, give them incentives like free books and midday meal schemes, be it rice, dal, chapati, etc. So that they're at least, at strength to do work, provide them with uniform, provide them with stationery. So all these incentives can really encourage them to go to school. The parents will also feel that, they don't have to spend and they can let their girls go to school. Along with education, provide them with vocational training so that they can take up vocation after completing the school. They can learn embroidery. If you feel that, they're good at embroidery, they should be encouraged to do that and different things like that. It builds self-confidence. We have discussed about poverty and we have discussed about education. Now let's discuss about disabilities, physical disabilities. A disabled person who is not able to perform one or more activity is called a disabled person. For example, there's orthopedic disability. There are 3 kinds. Second is blind, people who can't see, and third is deaf. Let's discuss in depth about it. First is orthopedic disability. You have seen children who cannot use their hands or legs. Some people are naturally born with orthopedic disability, or some people get due to deficiency, like for example vitamin D or calcium. Due to the deficiency, they can become disabled as well. So that is also a cause of orthopedic disability. Or sometimes even the hard working conditions. Sometimes due to accidents, it can happen. Second is blind or partially blind or low vision. Blind is someone who cannot see at all. Partially blind is someone who can see a little bit. For example, a completely blind person, cannot see even from a close distance. But a partially blind person can see from a close distance a little bit. It's lesser, that blind people are born naturally. They develop blindness after a certain age of 7 or 8. Maybe they are missing out on vitamin A, which leads to blindness. So that is also a cause of why blindness happens in children. Third is deaf. You might all know about it. Deaf is someone who can't hear, and who can't speak is someone who's called a deaf person. The family gets to know that the person or the baby is deaf when the baby is not responding to the sounds. Even to the loud noises, if the baby is not responding, it's a deaf baby. So these are some physical disabilities. How can we help disabled children? So first is medical examination as early as possible to examine what best can be done in the medical model. Even for blind people, it can be done. For deaf people, take them to a sign language teacher so that they can learn sign language and they can develop their language and be a part of the deaf groups. For blind people, Braille, teach them Braille, arrange Brailles like a dotted form so that they can learn from their own way. So these were the physical disabilities, orthopedic, blind and deaf. Now let's discuss MR, mental retardation. As you can see, that's the full form for MR, and I am spelling it out for you. MR, there's a delay or slowness in the child's mental development compared to general children. They are a little behind when it comes to the children of their age. It takes a little while for them to understand things. Maybe in a room, all 12-year-olds might be able to understand things fast, whereas MR children might not be able to pick it up as quickly. Let's discuss about STD now. As you can see from the PPT, STD is sexually transmitted disease. It could happen from some reproductive parts. It can get infected and it can cause STD. It's also called the RTI. It can lead to various sicknesses related to sex. Second is STD, the sexually transmitted diseases. Syphilis is also one of this. It's a bacteria-based disease which can happen due to the intercourse. We will not know about it, but after the intercourse, we can see the symptoms in 10 to 90 days. There can be symptoms, you will start to feel the sickness, etc. It's because of the bacteria that has happened. Maybe the person the intercourse happened with was not a healthy person, so it could lead to that. Third is AIDS. AIDS is a disease which leads to immune deficiency syndrome. The immunity goes down of a person and the person is not able to protect itself. The immunity is not there in the body. This is also a sexually transmitted disease and it can get bad. So the viruses, the harmful viruses, the body is not able to protect itself if a person has gotten AIDS because the immune system has become very, very weak. You can catch a cold or fever, etc. very easily if you have AIDS. HIV. AIDS is similar to that. HIV is the virus that is there in the AIDS, the sexually transmitted virus, and it also reduces the immune system, weakens the immune system. Safe motherhood, as you can see from the picture. So many times when women get pregnant, they die. They die during delivery, they die. It's been found out that, women are supposed to take care of themselves when they are pregnant. And many a times, due to lack of taking care and only, focusing on the children, the mothers also get sick and they die. So a lot of it happens. So it happens a lot, and so many mothers die because of that. In the North America, out of 4,000 women that are pregnant, only one woman may die, after delivering the child. Only one, and rest are alive and safe. Whereas in India, let's do a comparison here. In India, 132 women, if they are pregnant, 132 is such a small number compared to 4,000. One woman dies in 132 women. So that's the dangerous situation in India. Healthcare of motherhood is very, very less in India. Out of 132 women, one mother dies. So it's important that motherhood is taken care of and very well respected. So part 1 and part 2 is completed. We'll start part 3 soon. Thank you.